Hey, greetings. I'm installing a Garmin Echomap UHD 73SV and Transducer on my RXT 300 Seadoo, and I hope to get it to look like the Fish Pro a little bit when it's all done. Of course, except for the transducer. So I'd seen some videos on how people had mounted it to the ladder, to the 3 screws that were mounting the ladder on, and I actually took the ladder off, back off, and tried to pull those screws out, but I was having trouble getting them out. They wouldn't back out properly, so I just I sealed them back up, and the mounting bracket it's on. This must be sealed to the pretty good to the hull of the machine. So what I did was I used an L bracket, and I mounted into a little bit longer bolt that would go into the center bolt from the factory, and I drilled a hole and went in to stabilize that L bracket. And then just so happened the L bracket holes lined up pretty well with the mounting bracket for the transducer. And so it's mounted that way. So there is a gap. Usually you'll see them mounted to the back, and there is a gap here. So I'm hoping there won't be too much turbulence, and it'll work okay. But anyway, that's the transducer install. And I went up and used a little bracket up here to hold it, the wire, and then it kind of tucks in nicely behind the railing. And then on the other side, because of the size of the transducer, I've seen people where they clip the wires to keep it, a smaller hole, but I didn't want to do that and have to resolder them, so I just drilled a hole big enough to, I think it was, well, I'm not sure what size it was actually. I'll have to reference that and put it in the notes, but I drilled a pretty sizable hole here, and the transducer terminal will pass through, and then I found a rubber gasket. I had to cut it a little bit to wrap around it and plug up into the hole, but it's high enough up that it shouldn't be a factor for getting much water in or anything like that. So that was the transducer mounting. Now the big question will be to see if it actually works when I get into the water. And then that takes me to the fact that I ran the cabling along the side here and kind of tucked it in down below. Hard to see, but it's tucked along the side. So the hard part was, how the heck do I get it run up to the front where I need to bring it in to the mirror and hook it all up. So that was a challenge. It took me a while. I was trying different wires to try to fish through these ports here where most of the wires are ran. And what worked for me after several different attempts, because it's a long ways, and there's the big box here that kind of blocks out everything. But I took, believe it or not, my compressor hose, and I took this hose and ran it down through and just kept pushing it. And then when I went and looked, it was almost all the way back to here where I could actually just reach in and grab it, tie the transducer cable and tape it onto this, and then pull it all back through. So the transducer cable is coming up right here, and let's see, right there. And then I went ahead and took the mirror part. I'm waiting for the Fish Pro setup that I just ordered the parts on the Seadoo website for the Fish Pro. Like if you had to do a replacement part for the Fish Pro mounting for the Garmin. They happen to use a 6-inch on this Fish Pro, but I've seen several things where the 7-inch would work. So when I get that in, I can finalize it, but I've got all the cabling run up, and I'm waiting on that new mirror setup for the Fish Pro, and then I can mount everything, and it'll look like the Fish Pro factory setup. The other complicated thing is on the power side, running back through, it's coming out right here you know, with a power cable and ground and a couple other wires that are used for the NEMA 2000 systems. I guess I wouldn't use those unless I have another NEMA 2000 kind of a device I want to communicate to. And now I've got to splice it into the hot red and the black ground, and when I plug that back in here, it should I actually stuck the wires into these little terminals where the red wire was. I put the positive on the left and the black on the far right, and it powered up the fish finder navigator from 7300 SU. It powered it up, so I know it should work. So now I'm going to splice in, solder them, and finish it up when I get the Fish Pro assembly to mount the system onto. Of course, you have to give up the mirror to do that. But anyway, I'm almost done. This is what it looks like so far, and I'll give you a follow-up here in a few minutes when I get all the other stuff in. I can finalize it. I'm going to show you this. I cut the ribbon up on the adapter on the Seadoo, and I'm splicing into the wire right there, and I'm going to take some solder and solder it up, and then do the same thing with the positive lead, hot wire, and solder it, tape it back up, and then I should have power ready to go on the Echomap. So moving right along. Hey, just a little bit more here. I taped up the grounded side and just soldered in the hot wire, and I'm going to tape that up, and I think I'm pretty much wired up here and ready to go when I get the mounting bracket in for the replacement mirror there, and we'll be testing out the Echomap pretty soon. And anyway, just wanted to give you this quick update, and I'll continue to tidy up here and keep you guys updated. Hey, one quick note too. I saw other people doing this when they were taking the mirror off. I was just getting this ready for the parts that are coming in, and there's a screw in the bottom, and when you take it out, you know, I took it out once before. It happened to me a while back. It tends to, and I've seen about 2 or 3 people comment on this, the screw tends to fall in behind this panel. And the same thing happened to me, and it's hard to get off, especially if you have speakers. And I had seen the Beowulf guy pull it off on his, and I think he ripped it out just without telling anybody. He might have broke it, but there's a screw right in here that's impossible to get to unless you evidently take the speakers off. And so that screw right there cracked on me. But, you know, I put some glue on it and put it all back together. But my point is, if you're going to take the bolt out of the mirror, take a towel and cover up this area here. So cover this area up so it doesn't fall in behind this piece, because it's impossible to get out of there without taking it off, and it's a bear to remove that, and you don't want to go through that if you don't have to. But anyway, that's the quick update, and we'll finish it up here soon. Let you see. So, folks, just continuing on. I got the parts in, so I'm starting off by taking the mirror off, and what I did was I went ahead and taped the mirror with masking tape, and so it would stay all in one piece. And it splintered a little bit, so I just used this tape to pick up the little splinters. But this is what I used, just a kind of a spatula, putty knife, whatever that is. And now we're going to take this part and attach it to the mirror mount and run all the wires and get that Echo map mounted up there. And so I'll give you a little update as I get it all put together here, and we'll finalize the video, and hopefully this is helpful. Okay, I've got the piece mounted on. You could use the existing screw that was on there, just reuse that, and then there's another bolt that when you order these, you need to order the bolts for that. That's the second one, and then there's another type of screw that's going to need to be used for the cover, and it's right there in the middle. And the only thing is, I wired this up while I was waiting on the parts, so there's a little hole right there which one of the cables could have gone through, but it's very small. Before the power cable, before I fed it, but I went ahead and soldered that even before I had these pieces. So I just ran the wires over, and the cover should should cover them up okay. And then I went back and just tidied up the wires that were coming in. I already have a USB port on here, so I just reattached the cable I had for that USB port around these new cables, and then tied them off again here, and tucked the existing wiring down into this this tunnel that goes where the wiring all goes to the engine. And then of course I just used the black and hot leads to solder into the existing wiring down here. So then I re-taped that up. And then the other two wires I just stowed into the tunnel. I actually put some connectors on them so they wouldn't be exposed. And maybe at some point there'll be a NEMA 2000 item that I want to attach them to, but right now I don't need them. So I'm going to then now take the cover and fit it on over top of everything, and once I do, I think we'll be done. So that's got to be fitted on there. It might be a little difficult getting it on, and then and then the mounting screws from the bottom up need to be redone. But so now we've got power coming into it. Everything seems to be working. So just this last little cover, and I'll be done. I hope this was something that was helpful to you if you decide to do this. And again, this is the 7-inch Echomap. I think it's 73 SV. All right. Okay. Please note the cover really wouldn't go on without the cables into that hole. And so I don't know how you would ever get the transducer cable through there, because it won't fit on the factory hole there. I went in and drilled out a bigger hole, and they're both in there now, so I should be able to get everything mounted. And but I did want to do that update, because on the power cable you could wait for the assembly to come in and then feed the power cable through the little hole, but I don't know how you feed the transducer cable up through it, since I'm running it all the way from the back. And they've got the same thickness. It just won't go through that factory hole. Well, I drilled it out. Everything should be okay. I don't think it's going to hurt anything on the structure. And anyway, we'll finish it up and let you know how it goes. So after all that, we got it mounted, And it looks like we're going to be able to use it. I think that looks pretty good. It looks like the all the Fish Pro hardware, you know, that's all I did was order those parts from the Seadoo Fish Pro, and there was a good article on Watercraft Journal, I believe that is, that showed somebody doing it, and somebody that the gentleman upgraded from the 6-inch to the 7-inch, and they both fit into the same mount, and it looks like it's a done deal. And once I get it on the water, figure out if it's going to if the transducer is going to work. I might have to still come back and tweak it a little bit, but if I do have to, I can reverse that bracket so that it's more flush to the back of the Seadoo. And I may have to be able to adjust up and down. Right now, with the straight edge, it's a little bit kind of under the water, but I've seen some people on boats mount them that way, and it picks up okay. So I'll get on the water and see how it does, and then if you have any comments, hit me up if I can answer any questions for you. And otherwise, why didn't I just buy the Fish Pro to begin with? Because I wanted more horsepower. So now I got 300 horsepower. I'm sure I don't need it, but anyway, it looks a little bit better than the Fish Pro. Probably the colors, since I live in Georgia, and the Bulldogs in red and the Falcons are in red and black, so kind of goes for the team spirit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you. Have a great Labor Day weekend. That's what we're going into. Where is it? Memorial Day. I don't even know what it is. It's September, whatever that is, man. All right, later. Bye.